honestly, I don't think I want a new year this year. I would rather have a gently used 2006 or maybe a 1998 if it's still in good condition.
Oh my Christ. Yeah, give me a 96. I don't
Yeah.
even need it to be in good condition. I'll
96 is pretty
polish
old.
that baby up.
98 was a great year for
who?
me. Don't hate on 98.
Dude, I was already working my way through
Wait.
Los Angeles.
Oh, thanks, Grandpa.
Yeah. Get off my yard.
You don't have a
I
yard.
know.
And isn't it lawn?
Get
No,
off
he
my
used to.
balcony. Get off that sidewalk in front of my place. Listen, Linda's. So we got some comments in the last couple of videos that maybe we say a couple too many bad words, and like we agree that cursing is not a bad thing until 14 different people tell you cuss too much, and then sometimes you gotta look inside yourself and
Gotta
make a
go within.
change. Yeah, you gotta look within and unpack that, as the kids say. So listen, we don't want this to be a show where you gotta hire a babysitter to watch it. We want everyone to enjoy this like they do all these shows. So this is our pledge to do a little better with the curse words. It's gonna take a minute, but we'll get there.
I just want to tell everyone, I'm from New Jersey. And so I take great pride in my cursing. So I still might do it, but know that it's thoughtful and intentionally done. Also, please know that my throat is jacked because our city is,
Smoking it up.
yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple cuss words. So if you do have
Is
kids,
it curse or cuss?
curse, it's
feel like
potato.
No, it's not. I feel like
You don't know.
I say curse because I feel cuss is Southern and I'm not Southern.
Well, there are two words, one with a R and one with a no R.
Oh, they're two
curse
different words?
and cuss and
Yeah.
I thought it was just like slang for cursing, but it's not like a real
Have
word.
you ever heard someone say, like, she cussed me out?
And I've also heard she cursed me out.
I've never heard she cursed me out.
Well, I was
That's-
cursing
I mean,
that
listen,
person
it was
out.
a weird
I would never
person,
say I
but-
cussed that person out.
Yeah.
I was not in a van down by the river cussing somebody out.
Anyways,
Cussing people out since I was 2.
yeah,
We
no,
know.
I
listen,
don't plan
We're
on
aware.
stopping now.
yeah,
That's why we
this
got
one
in
over
trouble
here.
the last 2 weeks,
Yeah,
Nat.
the blonde. You're the
was
blonde,
just gonna
not us.
Don't give that commenter any credit.
Fine.
No, we're not.
We'll do our best in the future. All right. So, welcome to Showmance,
Grandmas.
the future, the new and improved, non-cursing, family-friendly Showmance.
I don't make any promises.
This is also true.
I make a promise to try. I just have to say that when I do it, what you might notice is that it's because I'm searching for a word. And so it's like a nervous tick kind of, because I can't remember what my point is often. And I'm going to try to get better at talking in general, not cursing. I'm not trying to not curse. I'm going to
You
try to
let
get
them
better.
know. You stick it to
Yeah,
them.
I just want to say this isn't ABC. This is YouTube.
The ABC of streamers. Anywho, I'll also show Natalie where the bleep button is in DaVinci Resolve, so that should help.
You know what? That might be what it is until we get this worked
Listen,
out.
baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day.
I still will curse from time to time, though. I
It's
have
a
to.
form of expression.
Listen.
Freedom of speech.
We went back and watched a couple episodes, and even this last one that we had filmed before we got all the constructive criticism. I was like, all I can hear is us saying F-bombs and S-bombs and all the bombs.
Wait, was
it
I cursing that much?
So listen, not that much, but I was like, it's us, man. Courtney doesn't cuss. Like, and she's like,
I do.
Courtney cusses. And I was like, I don't think so. Yeah, you do. You definitely do.
I do it on purpose, not because
yeah.
I'm filling space.
Yeah.
I think the two of us are more the like, F-bomb.
Yeah. So
shit
we're
bomb.
going to try to get better at this, but we're not censoring when we have something to say that requires a little
With that being said, welcome to Showmance.
Can
Are we
you
sticking
give-
with the tagline?
Yeah, do it.
All right. Welcome to Showmance, the only show on the internet deep diving shows with no depth.
It's so good. I love it so
That's what
super
we do
much.
best.
I love it. We're definitely not the only ones on the internet doing it. A lot of people are doing it, but
Okay,
we're
well,
probably
Natalie-
doing it best.
Well, we're doing it the deepest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They say
deep-
size doesn't matter,
Listen.
but it does.
We're just going to fill in all of our curse words with just dirty innuendos.
and
now.
also, have
That's
you
fine because the littles don't understand that. That's what an innuendo is.
have you learned nothing from marketing
Craig?
or like carnival barkers When you drive down the road, someone's like, world's best shrimp right here. Do you really think that's the world's best shrimp in that strip mall off the side of La Cienega Boulevard? No, it's not. But they are purporting that it is.
Yeah.
They are shouting it from the rooftop, or at least a sandwich board. And that's us. So we are the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Yeah.
Don't tell us we're not.
We might not be the only, but this is the best show in the world on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Which makes it the only one that you
Like
need to
the
know
shrimp,
about.
the
So at
shrimps.
any rate, we move on.
I think I jinxed the show this
you
week by
definitely did.
saying last week that it was a turning point.
No, now we're at a stalling point.
I know it just reversed.
I feel like we are in the most boring relationship in the world.
Or are we just in a long-term relationship that's 10 years in? You know, we're just like, we're hitting a little
maybe
low
that's gonna
point
happen.
in the life of
Maybe
this
the
relationship.
cast trip might help Estella get her groove back.
Yeah,
If
did
the
you watch
trailer
the
says
trailer
anything.
again?
No, I keep watching like scenes from the next.
Yeah.
And then the show rolls around and I'm like, you pulled the best pieces of the episode out and it was those 30 seconds. Just give me 30 seconders. Don't give me full episodes.
I'm trying to think of even the scenes from the next I've been excited about. The trailer's the only thing that I'm like, okay.
There's a bunch of things on the trailer that we have not seen
It's
yet.
probably the last 2 episodes.
It probably is
Right.
because it seems like half of it is on the same trip. So that probably is spanned over a trip probably spans over 2 episodes about. And we're on we just finished 6. So I think on average there's 12, sometimes there's 15. I think if it depends on what they've got going on in their lives, I worry it's going to be about
Yeah, I think
Negative
we're 10
4.
on this one, yeah.
yeah. So who knows? All I know is that there's so many more shows coming. Come this time in like 2 weeks, we'll be like, oh, we wish that we didn't have that much to cover because we're going to be doing like 4 shows a week.
No, I will never poo-poo abundance because living through this drought is painful.
Yeah.
Like, and especially at a time where like you need something to watch to get your mind off of how horrific things in your literal backyard, front yard are, all the yards.
Yeah.
Not to be a downer. I'm such a downer today, guys. Sorry.
No,
I feel like
God.
I'm Molly. I'm so womp. I have notes.
Molly's been like on 100 reality shows, as we
Really?
learned in the comment section.
What else has she been in?
She was on the America's Got Modeling Talent, or whatever it's called.
America's Next Top Model.
That
Okay.
one. And then Bachelor.
She was?
I think she left night 1 because she was engaged, I guess. She was supposed to be married. And then the like night 1 of The Bachelor was like, that was supposed to be her wedding day. And it was just like, yeah, I think I'm good. So she bounced. And then to those fans of Whore Island,
Bachelor in Paradise.
sorry.
But going forward,
Did-
it
wait,
will
did-
be called Whore Island.
So Mike
Shane
and
calls
Nat
it the same
OG.
thing.
I
I'm
love
sure a
that.
lot of people call it. I'm sure a lot of people didn't even need that extra. They're like, oh, we watched Bachelor in Paradise. So do you remember on Whore Island when a suitcase showed up and then nobody else, like the girl bailed at the last second, and there was like
Molly.
that was Molly's suitcase.
Hold on. I thought you said it was Sally.
That was Sally's suitcase.
So Sally
Oh,
was
Sally's
on
not Molly.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to do.
Oh.
You might need to redo this because you just
Botched
F-bombed
everything.
That whole thing.
Well, that fucking sucks. Wait,
Not Molly. Sally
Molly.
with an
So
E.
Molly's on the
No.
modeling show.
I'm just gonna read one comment that actually deserves.
Sally.
Like
Sally's
you have to stop
suitcase.
talking. You don't know anything about anything right now.
I do.
You know very little.
I know about golf.
Let me just tell you.
Please tell me something resembling anything.
I'm gonna give it to you straight from Christy Chic 6334.
Thank you.
Molly was a runner-up on America's Next Top Model, and I enjoyed her snarky sense of humor and entertaining venting. She was also a guest on Below Deck when Ashton was the bosun. I don't know. Bosun. I don't watch The Deck. Tried. Couldn't get into it.
Oh, it's so good.
Really?
Too many of
Yeah.
them.
It's cabin fever.
And had the hots for a very thin bikini-clad Molly, whom he met up with after the charter and made out with at the bar. Her and her friend Justine, the private chef from Charleston, did a photo shoot with Ashton on the yacht. Anyway, I think Molly talks about her weight because she was seen on national TV when she was younger and very thin. I do not think it's an issue, but to a former very skinny model, sadly, perhaps it always is an issue.
I think that is actually a great point.
That is the best comment I've ever seen. Didn't mention anything about
You're cursing.
anything that wasn't important.
What?
So Molly was on America's Next Top Model.
Yeah.
Now this is making sense because I remember when Sally was on The Bachelor and she had to leave because it was too matcha because it was her wedding day
Yeah.
on the first evening.
Yeah.
Then her bag showed up in BIP, Bachelor in Paradise, and she never showed up and it was this ongoing joke. That's the previous reality show history of this cast, correct?
I'm sure there's more.
Okay, well, I'm not taking it from you because you really botched the last rundown of it.
You knew what I was saying.
No one knew what you were saying.
Yeah,
The
now I'm
fans
questioning
knew.
everything because you told me
Molly
yesterday.
was on America's Next Top Model and
Yeah.
Sally was on Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise because
Yeah.
now I'm remembering it
Yeah.
completely. It bums me out that she's just defining herself by the fact that she's 36, single, and she feels overweight. And I'm sure she was like a fun, quirky, snarky chick on and like had a great acerbic take on America's Next Top Model. I'm sure that's who she was. Trust me, I get it. I used to model. It was a real thing to really be incredibly thin.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was in high school and I went to a casting and I'm basically the same size as I was in high school, but probably a little thinner then. And I remember at one of the castings, they were like, "Oh, your thighs are too big for this." I'm like, "Okay, first of all, I'm 14, so that might
So
scar me in a way that I don't know if any of us are prepared for." Luckily, it
Apparently
didn't because
Courtney
I have
was a fat kid.
I have some real self
now it's
confidence.
Fat Molly and Fat Courtney.
Fat young Courtney.
Anyway, point being, so I get it. I get how that can get in your head, but like Molly, you have so much to offer the world. Also, you look great. Who cares? But I get it. She doesn't feel like she looks great. And what is this? Like the Gilded Age? Where like if you're not married by a certain time in your life, you're an old maid or you're going to die a spinster with a bunch of cats, which by the way, cats are awesome. I hope to die with a bunch of cats.
Every episode more and more, even the ones that like aren't nearly like they're not like the Taylors of the group that are just literally here to like find someone to claim them. They're like, here's my baggage claim ticket. Does anyone want it?
Yeah.
But they all seem to be way more laser focused on that than like anyone I know in real life.
It's got to be a regional thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
And it's not that people elsewhere don't want a significant other, but it's very heavily focused on in at least on this show. I've never lived in Charleston. I can't tell you, but
I think
they all
it's
talk
Southern.
about it, that it's a Southern thing.
Yeah. Like
I actually think Shep and Molly would make a cute couple. You don't. You just really don't like her.
No, I actually really do like Molly, but I just
how do you know if you like Molly?
like when Molly does come with something, she's very good at putting herself in people's shoes. She was talking about how just like the situation with Taylor and Sally at the dog party, like how I imagine it would be really hard to see your ex, like someone you spent so much time of your life with, and then to not just have to see them, but then see them with someone else. And then when she's talking about Shep, she's like nailing like he dates younger women for this reason. He's Southern and he wants someone who's not going to tell him what to do and kind of ask him questions and whatever. She picks up on traits, but she just doesn't do anything with them necessarily. Like for her to end that when she's talking about Shep, we're kind of jumping ahead, but when she ends that, she says, I mean, he's up here for me. Like for you, first of all, you just literally like named all of Shep's worst traits, so you identified them, but then you're still holding him up here, and then to add for me, you're saying because I'm such a piece
that's
of
what
crap.
I mean. Like it makes me sad
Yeah.
for her because I feel like she's really constantly knocking herself down.
Yeah, no,
Like,
she
she doesn't-
is. So
yeah.
that's why I don't think she should be with Shep, because I think that she would literally let him walk all over her. So like it'd be a great deal for Shep. It would be
Shep
a
should actually be with no
horrible-
one right now
Yeah.
except for like a therapist.
Yeah, yeah,
Not dating them.
Yeah.
Just seeing them.
yeah. I also just wish that like we would have been able to like get a lunch on the books with Molly like before her first day of shooting, so we could like give her some advice on like
Yes, girl, you get yourself some confidence and you walk in there knowing how great you are. Like even when and again, this is skipping ahead, but even when she talks about why she was late to Sally's party
Yeah.
and she was like, I had a solo, but I messed it up. And I feel like she's like Pigpen at this point. Like she should just walk into every scene with a little like cloud of dirt over her head because that's how bad she feels about herself. And she shouldn't.
She's like that SNL character. What's her name?
Yes.
Where she's like
Rachel Dratch plays her.
Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debbie Downer.
When she does say stuff, sometimes I'm just like, you are the most adorable dork I've ever seen. When they're like, oh, where have you been? She's like, toot, toot, toot in my tuba. Nobody needs that.
Like Molly. I just want Molly to like Molly.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Anyway. But no, we start off the episode with her and Shep in the dog park in his Buick.
What are going right past is that Taylor doesn't know what hubbub is.
What does it sound like, Taylor? Like it's one of those words, you know, when like I feel like Yiddish is such a great language because even if you don't know what the word means, it is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like if someone says oy vey, you're not thinking that's some celebratory statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hubbub. What's that? What does it sound like? It's hubbub.
This is where you're missing Shep because Shep would have never let this fly. He would have been like explaining to you.
I'm not trying to be nasty when I say this. Would she be having conversations with Shep and not understanding a majority of
I'm sure
what he was saying? Because he really has an impressive vocabulary. Oh, God. Shep, he's that person that got something new and shiny and is bragging about it to everyone. And you just want to be like, just slow your roll just a little, Shep. Like everybody is going to get served a piece of humble pie. So maybe you don't need to be like, oh gosh, everything with Sienna and I is just chef's kiss perfect.
Yeah.
I could never imagine being in a better relationship. It's accelerating pretty darn quickly. I dropped the L-bomb. I've never said it so quickly, but I had to say it. Like, relax, because you're going to get dumped very soon and everyone else can see it, but you can't. Following what I'm saying?
I just don't buy anything he's saying. Like, I don't think he's that into her. I don't think that he's that feeling all these wild new things that I've never felt before. Like, he just seems so like he's always telling you this story. Like, can you believe it? I mean, like he's like trying to relate in a way, but also trying to tell you that I am capable of having a grown-up relationship. I am capable of still getting young chicks, but this one has a brain. And I don't buy that that's even what he's truly looking for. So it's like, I'm not taking him seriously. Like, oh, you're bragging about something that is going to soon be taken away from you. That's like the least of his problems, really. Like the bigger shouting problem to me is like, you don't even really have any real interest in this. You're like digging deep to like find like, what do the humans say about relationships?
What do you think?
He's producing a love story.
Yeah, he's producing a love story.
I'm sticking to the producers have nothing. The amount, just a little, I'm sure I'm going to say this and everyone's going to be like, yeah, thanks a lot, idiot. Little tip. If you hear things on TV shows and the camera is focused on the person's chinny chin chin and not their lippy lips, and you hear, yeah, man, I really hate Craig. Craig's really a piece of shit. That's not happened. That happened maybe 3 seasons ago. Like, there's a bank of stuff in post where you can pull little clips and snippets with. They're always there. We take them when we need them. This episode last night or whenever it was.
Last night.
All I kept seeing was that. Just edits of no camera on a person saying those things.
What is your feeling on Shep? Do you think...
I think it's fake. I think it's produced. I think this whole season is just... Well, let's go get the Producer 101 book and see how we like. I don't think they have anything. I don't think that relationship was real. I know I joked that it was marketing by the tourist boat for the Bahamas. I don't even know if I'm 100% joking. That might be a real thing. Or like one of the prizes of being Miss Bahama was you got 6-ep arc on a reality show like in America. I don't know. Like all of it seems fake. The only thing that I'm maybe leaning into is Craig and Austen. That seems maybe a little bit real. But then I read some comments about Craig that got me
What?
all wrecked.
Oh, no, what?
Not gonna lie. I'm sure we'll get into it. But it just made me like, It was a lot of like, I just stumbled upon all the people that were like, are not on Team Craig. And they're like, the dude's full of shit. He's always been a liar. And that was me. I used to be that guy that was like, yeah, this dude doesn't do shit. And then he got some hair product.
Do you want to maybe take that from the top where every other word's not
Listen, baby steps. We'll bleep some of that.
Listen, also, when you talk about these moving lines, if the camera's not on someone when they're talking, it's because they're not saying that. On this show, they're saying it, but it's just me trying to cut out a and so I'm just switching to someone else's face, so it's not a jump cut.
Yeah, on Showmance.
So you just want to be clear. We're not lying to you.
Charm.
We're coddling you.
What Natalie actually meant to say is when she's trying to cut out someone cursing, she wasn't giving the example of the curse word.
Yeah, that'll be a bleep, probably.
These guys are real slow learners over here. I see what I'm dealing with, America.
Anywho, I think it's just produced. And obviously it's a produced show, but like.
I get that this season is heavily produced because there's nothing happening. It's terrible. And I love this show. Okay. I'm saying that from someone who is an active fan of this show. I do really think Shep is that guy, that he's the character in the 80s movie that's always been the star football player, the prom king, got the hottest girl at school. And so even if he's not fully into the cheerleading captain, no, I get her because I'm the football captain and I'm the coolest guy here. And do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he was that guy. Now he's the guy that keeps going back to the high school parties. And like, cool, a couple years after high school, fine. Dude, you graduated 15 years ago. Like, you can't keep partying with high school kids. It's
or you
time
can,
to move
but
on.
we're judging you. But I'm not even getting that far into Shep's future because Shep doesn't know he's that guy. So if I'm kind of on Team Natalie with what you're saying, but I still feel as though he doesn't understand that you look like a loser. No one would dump me.
Yeah.
Everyone would want to be with me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure.
Right. So when he's sitting here touting the fact that he's now in the best relationship and I got to look good because I don't think I've ever had anyone to look good for. I can't walk into a room with this stunner and not be on my A game, or, he said something to that effect. And she's not even that into you, but you're walking around like the cat who caught the canary and you're still the big man on campus, and who's not going to want to be with me? And it's just all so gross. Yeah. Whether he is really that into her and does legitimately get dumped and get his heart broken, or he just thinks like, oh no, I'm ready to be it's the taxi cab theory. I'm ready to be in a relationship now. And so I picked up this hot chick and she's never going to want to get out of my cab because I got the best cab on the block, and realize really she's like, so you're in a Buick, I'm going to get in the car next to me, which is a Maybach.
Yeah. I feel like he's like, oh, I want to come visit you. I want to come out there. She's probably just thinking like, no, my hotelier boyfriend lives here. Like,
I'm actually dating the president of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So, or the prince, however they run themselves.
Yeah, I think that what he is saying is embarrassing because, like, yeah, she's gonna break up with him, and he thinks it's all in the bag.
He doesn't see it coming.
No, he doesn't see it coming at all. I just wanted to kind of say that, like, I found it to be a bigger problem that, like, I don't even think he really is into this person. I think he's into the whole idea of what he can tell everybody about this person and what he can project about himself about it. I'm wondering when he will ever have real.
Remember they had the show. What was it? It had a cute title. Like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, what was his dating show?
He had a dating show?
He did for one season. But
oh my
listen,
God,
Linda,
just him? Like he was like the Bachelor kind of like character, and women just were flocking to date Shep?
It was called
God, I used to know the name.
Was it Relationship?
Yes,
Relationship.
It was
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Good job, Nat. That was really good. Good job, lady.
Listen.
Wow.
Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda.
Yeah, relationship.
You might have hit a nail on the old head there. So some dudes, not me, but some dudes like the idea of banging strippers and porn stars. That's like a thing. This might, and this is going to sound so horrible. I don't mean that this Sienna Miss Bahamas is like a porn star, but banging a Miss anybody, a Miss
Maybe
Bahamas,
his fetish
a
is someone
Miss
with a title.
California, it's not a I mean, fetish. I don't know. I think.
Or no, his thing.
But
Listen,
like,
there's-
it's a thing. Like, I dated a Miss Bahamas. Like, and Miss Arkansas is cool, but not as cool as Miss fucking Bahamas. You can keep that F-bomb in there. Like that's a like. So he might just be like, I'm
No,
checking
I
a
think he
Miss
likes
Bahamas.
anyone with
a
who
Miss
he perceives to have clout.
But you know what I'm saying? It's not even a clout thing. Like lawyers and businesswomen have clout. It's a check mark.
No, but
It's
that's
like,
why-
I dated a model.
he likes to
I
kind of like,
dated a Miss
I've got all
Bahamas. I
these.
dated a stripper.
But that's why I said
dated
he
a porn
perceives has
star.
clout. I think he looks at a woman who has beauty as, oh, you are superior to another chick.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're a model, you have clout. You're Miss Bahamas, you have clout. You have a royal title, you have clout. Maybe in someone else's world, none of that tracks. But there are modelizers, there are cleat chasers, there are
Yeah.
big game hunters.
Yeah.
So I think that's his thing.
God,
Yeah, no, I
every
think he's
time
just
that we
ticking
even
off
talk about any
a
of these
story.
people.
Like dudes want stories like that, and this is
Oh
just
yeah,
a story.
I see that too. Every time I think about this though, like I am sure of it. Him and Taylor are MFEO. Like they really, I hope that they get past all of this BS and just get back together.
Well,
at
that's
some
actually
point.
my next note. One of his confessionals, he's saying that Taylor's choices of lovers or whatever I don't understand them. They're a real quagmire.
And he's like, no offense to anyone. What,
By the
I'm
way,
sorry,
you're saying it in an offense
what other
tone.
way is there to say that? Like you're real stumped about this girl's choices and
But
and
here's
men?
the thing. When you've dated someone, like seriously dated someone, right? And then they're dating someone else, of course, it's completely normal for you to have some type of feeling or opinion about who they're now with, okay? That's not what I have a bone to pick with him about all of this. It's the way in which he says it. So I could look back on someone that I've dated and be like, oh my God, that's so crazy that he's with someone like that now, just because like the last 3 chicks he dated, me included, were kind of this one type and this person's so the polar opposite of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm not saying, can you believe this guy's dating this nudnik? Like she's a real moron.
Yeah.
He's saying it like in a hostile way.
Yeah.
Where, why do you care, bro?
He cares about all the things that he says he doesn't care about, and he doesn't care about any of the things that he says he does. I've actually never known anyone that's like 100% that way. Like everything he proclaims, like they seem to really not mean anything. They just don't seem to match up at all.
100%. When Taylor is having dinner at who's the couple we like?
Rod and Tyler.
Rod and Tyler. And by the way, I love when Rod or Tyler, when they're walking up to Sally's house and he's like, I love this brickwork. I'm like, yes, that's what I need more of in this show. You're right. Tyler's a star.
I'm telling you, they were assigned to Taylor. Like
yeah, to
Taylor
make her
has
more
no one
interesting.
to like hang out with. Nobody likes her. She doesn't seem to like anyone else. So I feel like that was like their Roswell, like, can my boyfriend be on the show this year or my husband be on the show this year? And they're like, yes, but your
Yeah.
initiation is that you both have to hang out with Taylor.
If
for
you
a
make
whole
her
season.
likable, you'll be both be main characters.
Yeah, because they are just so next level. Like they would not like they should be running around with Madison. Now Madison's got her hands full, so she can't make time for noobs.
Yeah.
you know. But that's who they belong with. They
Yeah.
belong in like a biting,
Quippy,
like,
funny,
yeah,
making
yeah.
stuff happen kind of
even
group.
Venita over
Taylor.
It's true.
That
yeah.
one.
And I like Venita, but she's bringing nothing this season also. But Taylor's doing the same thing that Shep's doing. She's so one-sided with the person that she's dating, which, by the way, here's another party that Gaston sends her into the lion's den alone
Yeah.
to. And it's like, if you love this person, if you want to be her ride or die,
Oh,
That was-
actually, now
yeah,
that I
that
think
was
about that one.
Molly's housewarming party.
Sally's.
Sally, whatever. That
Drive,
was
fine,
suitcase.
drive her there.
You know what? That would have been the move.
By the way, you shouldn't have to have someone, your boyfriend, back you up to give you self-confidence. You should have self-confidence and then be in a relationship. But that's
Yeah.
not how this cookie is crumbled. So if she knew he's out there, he backs me, I can leave at any time. Like, that's how you could have been there for her, but not gone in Sally's party.
Yeah. That
But-
would have been the move. I didn't even think about that. Drop
Yes.
them off and then
Yes.
have a smooch.
Yes, and be like, if you get uncomfortable for 1 second, you text me. I'm right
Yeah.
here. I'll pick you up, and we'll go and we'll have a glass of wine somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm here for you.
That
I
would've
love
been
you. Boo.
perfect.
Exactly.
And clearly he is not that guy.
He's not that
so
guy.
That's
But
why he's not there.
So when they're talking about with Rod and Tyler, the phone call that happened between Sally and Gaston, I can never say his name. Is it Gaston or Gaston?
They all say it different. I feel like Madison says Gaston. But she might be making fun of him, though.
She also has that cute little accent.
Yeah.
Gaston. Anyway, when they were talking about G, the phone call between G and Sally, she's like,
Just call him
"Why?"
cock socks, okay?
Cock socks, yes. She's like, why are you even calling my boyfriend? Okay, simmer and settle, Taylor. First of all, you don't know if he called her and she was calling him back. You don't know if they ran into each other somewhere. You don't know if, yes, maybe she did call him, but he stayed on the phone with her and they had a conversation.
Yeah.
So there's just so many details there that you don't know. And for you to be gunning so hard for this girl, and I have news for you. It's only a matter of time before you are Sally, because you and Gaston are not staying together forever. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so, both her and Shep, because this is why you say they do belong together, because they are the same person. They're both riding in so cocksure
Yeah.
that this is the relationship hill that I'm going to die on.
Yeah.
It's me and Sienna and cock socks for life.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No.
Just never a good look. And you're going to be sitting there with the egg on your face.
If she's like, you were a fling. And Sally's like, we were together. We were exclusive. And then Taylor goes, were ya? She takes so much value in like a man just sacrificing, making that sacrifice to go ahead and be exclusive with you. Like she thinks it's such a big deal that she's going to try to take it away from another one. She's
No, I think what she meant was they broke up because he cheated on her. I think that's what she meant. When she was like, we're exclusive, she was like, were you? Because he broke up. You guys broke up because he was banging other chicks. So, like, I think that was, listen, I'm not saying Taylor's not a snarky little monster. But,
like a dumb one, though. That's the
yeah,
thing.
definitely
Snarky
dumb.
bring me the snark.
But
you gotta be
she's-
smart with
Dumb?
it. You
Yeah,
can't
no,
be-
thank you.
I think that dig had to do with that he cheated on.
Even that, if
Sally.
that's your dig, it's so unkind.
Yeah.
Well, she's not nice. That's-
Right.
but
Especially
that's why I
again,
got a
like it all
problem
goes
with her.
back to like when I said, I know, like I don't remember things in one ear out the other. I don't forget experiences, especially ones that are that devastating, to be cheated on, broken up with, left, like, and it takes however long to get over them. Like she
Yeah.
had a really hard breakup with
Shep.
which tailspinned into like doing 10 other things that I'm sure are not her best
proudest
look and
moments.
proudest moments. Yeah. And so for her to be continuously talking about these other women as if like she's never experienced that, like, did you just block that out somehow? Like, is that your coping mechanism?
Wait a
Did you
minute.
just like decide that didn't happen?
You know how we keep saying Shep's fatal flaw, right? Is that he just needs to be seen as the good guy.
Yeah.
So does Taylor. Taylor just needs to be seen as, I'm this pious,
Yeah.
holy,
Yeah,
church going,
totally.
right? Like good girl who the guy chose.
And Shep always believed that about her. She's such a good girl. Like, I just care about, I worry about her. Like, she's just a little delicate flower and just such a good. Like, they both are eating each other's bullshit up. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they would,
They're MFEO.
oh my God,
They are.
they could have a beautiful life together.
Yeah, and both live delusions of grandeur together.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, both of them would be infinitely more interesting if they just were who they were.
Yeah.
I don't care what your religious choices are. I don't care who you want to sleep with. I just want you to be you. Don't
Yeah.
sit here and tell me that I'm a nice guy, but you cheat on all your girlfriends, Shep. Don't sit here and tell me like, but I'm a good girl and I'm praying for y'all, when you're sitting here trying to make another woman feel like dirt about the fact that she was cheated
Yeah.
on by a guy that she really liked.
Yeah. I never remember all of Taylor's like shenanigans until she starts talking shit to someone about what they did and like pointing fingers and judging and just being very condescending to them. And then that's the only time that I go, hang on, Taylor. Didn't you do? That's why I
Didn't you
like
get
listed off all
also,
of her things last
didn't
week.
you get
Not
cheated
because I'm
on?
judging her, because I'm judging a person who can't stop judging everyone else around her and has no like Do you think that we all didn't like it was on television?
Yeah.
Dummy.
It's so true. It's like, you got cheated on. Why would you try to make another person feel less than because she was cheated on?
Yeah. Ding dong.
Yep. Ugh.
That's America.
The reason I also just think like these gays don't give a shit about Taylor really, and they're just there doing like what's it called when you get in trouble?
Doing their job.
What's
Penance.
it called when you have community service?
Yeah.
It's because like when they're like, "Oh, we have a gift for you, Taylor," and they brought out just some like
There's a framed
dumb
postcard.
little frame postcard when she was like, "Oh my god, that's great," and then the camera pans to Tyler and he's looking at Rod like, "It worked. The regifting." Like, because it was in like a bag with tissue paper that had clearly been used before already. Like, it was such a last minute thought.
No, Rodrigo said it was his friend, the artist.
I'm sure that his
actually thought it
friend,
was a
the
cute
artist,
little-
has given him many things that he's like, but this is in a bag.
I love Austin's parents. What can I get you? An Aperol Spritz, gin and tonic, a gimlet. But once again, here's another scene with Audrey. Is that even her name? Sure. Who knows? Let's call her Audrey because no one can remember who this person is that he's so in love with. Again, I know nothing about her now. He said she wants 4 children. She said nothing that made it to air because I guess everything she said was more boring than her sitting there. She could be anyone. He could have brought in a cardboard cutout of some innocuous girl. And I would have been thinking, yeah, that tracks. That's his girlfriend. This relationship offers nothing. I'm in therapy. I'm working on being intentional. That's why I didn't introduce her to my parents for months. And now we're there. Did you even introduce her now?
Yeah.
Because you had no important conversations. Again, I'm sure she's a nice girl and she's just getting a real crapola edit. But she could be anyone. She is like...
But she could also be someone who doesn't like being on camera and doesn't feel comfortable being on a reality show and maybe watched the show and was like, Jesus Christ, you guys are idiots.
And don't even go and film that scene.
Yeah. You know, in Arrested Development, George Michael's girlfriend, Anne. Oh, Dad, Anne's here. And Jason Bateman goes, who's Anne? He's like, oh, my girlfriend. Literally 5 minutes later. Okay, but can Anne come too? And Jason Bateman will go, who's Anne?
Yes, that's this.
George Michael, I'd love for you to come with me when I cut the ribbon at the new house.
Hey, can I bring Anne?
Who?
Anne.
I haven't met Anne.
Yes, you have.
Michael had met Anne.
That's her right over there.
Oh, Anne. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Anne.
I know Anne. Hey, you.
I kind of want to buy her a diamond.
Her?
Anne.
I'm sure that Egg is a very nice person.
Anne.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
She's Anne.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's Anne.
That's Anne.
Who?
It's the girl who ripped my heart out. The girl whose face will always be etched in my mind.
Huh?
She's really funny.
Well, let's hope so.
I don't want to just come out of the gate shitting on this relationship that I know nothing about because you could be totally right. I feel like Austen, he's saying all the right things. I just don't believe any
I don't believe
of it.
him.
And like, I want to believe him because like, it would just be nice for him to have something real. Nobody else seems to have anything real. And the one person that does have something real, we
over.
know she's going to go away any minute. And so it's a bummer. So I feel like though, like if he's being a good dude now and it's all on the up and up, I don't know what's going to happen when Craig doesn't have a
Paige.
girlfriend anymore. He might be a little more open to hanging out with buddies again.
wonder if they're
That's
still
when
together.
old Audrey is going to probably meet the real Austen. The second that his best buddy is ready to go to the bars
Or-
again, it's over for Audrey.
Or is our Audrey and Austen real and Craig's going to be ready to go party it up and Austin's going to be like,
I
I'm
hope
going to be
so.
in my backyard with Audrey. We got some Instagram posts about beer. You know, like
Yeah,
what if
yeah,
Austen
yeah.
becomes the boring guy
Yeah.
while Craig's ready? See, that's life, people. Sometimes stuff doesn't line up the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on Austin's Instagram page. There's no pictures of him and his girlfriend on here that I can see. And all you need to know about Austen is his handle name. Kroll the Warrior King.
That's from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Wait, he's Kroll the Warrior King?
She calls Matthew McConaughey's member something kind of like girly. And he's like, no, why are you calling it that? And she's like, what do you want me to call it? He's like, I don't know, something like masculine, like Kroll the Warrior King or something.
Listen. If you're gonna name my member, all right, you gotta name it something hyper masculine, okay? Something like a Spike, or Butch, or Kroll the Warrior King, but not Princess Sophie.
What did he just say?
Kroll the Warrior King. You know what? The king has momentarily abdicated his throne, okay?
Exactly. You're not Matthew McConaughey.
Cool.
They're not together anymore. That's what I am putting my money on. But also the most interesting part of this scene is not him bringing this girl that he's madly in love with to finally meet his parents. It's when he gets the phone call that Craig had met up with JT.
Yeah.
That's the most passion I've seen out of him all season, not for his
You want to
girlfriend.
know why? Because when that call first happens, like unless it was like a scheduled call and like he knew it's on the call sheet, you're gonna get this phone call this time. If it wasn't, then it's just Madison at first. The guys don't go, oh, Rod's here too, or whatever. Like she's like, Austen, it's Madison. And he's like, oh, like he jumps up and runs out, and the camera goes to Audrey being like watching him because he's like, oh, you can use some privacy to go talk to your ex-girlfriend right now.
I love Madison.
And then
now.
once he gets
It's
outside,
happened.
Rod goes, hey, it's Rod too.
Womp, womp.
Okay, so they have that phone call. I really can't understand why everyone got so mad at Craig for them meeting up. Like, hear him out first before you get so pissy.
Because it was on the call sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Shep and Austen have been on this anti-Craig agenda for a bit, and
Yeah.
now Shep seems to be jumping back on the Craig wagon somehow.
A little bit,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just wondering if like this is a moment where Shep sees an opportunity to, oh, Craig's on the outs with everyone right now. He needs a friend. I'm gonna seize
that
that.
guy.
Like I'm gonna so I can be like, see, I was there for you. You know, just like maybe he owes him one right now. But it's just funny how like Shep seems to be hanging out with Craig more. And even when Craig says, I think I'm going to want to take a step back from the pod, you'd think that Shep would be like, with everything Shep has said about like, oh, but bros should be bros and whatever. You'd think he would say, don't do it. But he was like, doesn't seem like a bad idea. It's got to be exhausting. Like,
Shep
his
just
response.
loves vacillating.
Yeah.
To be good
Yeah.
with one person and then good with another.
Yeah.
Hold on, I just need to rewind about Sally's party because there were just a few things that really struck me as odd. What? Who is wearing what? What on God's green earth possessed Whitney to show up to like a backyard barbecue in slacks and a blazer?
What was the comment? One that we read I read a comment.
I told you to
Something-
screenshot him.
But there's something like, oh, cool to see Whitney step out of his coffin to come to a party.
Yeah.
Something.
And then what's her name? Taylor walks in, also ready for like a business dinner with slacks, this like pleather bustier, and that pink bag. I'm so offended by the cream pants, the chocolate brown top, and the pink bag. The outfit choice was so ill-fitting for the event.
Yeah.
It's a backyard barbecue party. And then here in comes Venita. Oh, excuse me. I have to pour my own drink.
I know.
Where's the
Venita,
bartender?
come
I'm like, there's
on.
a keg here.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a cocktail hour at a wedding.
You know, we were wondering, like, does Craig drink or not? Is he just like,
Oh,
is
yeah, he had the beer.
Yeah, he had a beer, but he had put a koozie over it. But then Austen called him out. Hey, got a drop hop? It's like, it's almost like Austen called him out on purpose to like.
Oh, but I love a koozie. It keeps it cool.
No. So do I. But Craig, when's the last time we saw Craig drink?
I was actually really happy to get that comment from Austen because it answered the question we keep asking. Like,
Yeah.
does he only have beer? Does he only have wine?
Yeah.
Does he have nothing? So now
Yeah.
we know. I think it's beer and wine.
Yeah.
Because I remember he said he quit hard alcohol.
If Craig's an alcoholic, then yeah, I would love it if he never drank again. But I don't think that he is, and I do hope that Craig can like find
Balance.
It's been really easy to be on Craig's team for this whole thing because like everyone else has just been so ridiculous
Yeah.
and just so out of line with everything, with the leaving him out of parties and with just railing on him all the time for the same exact that they used to rail on him for the complete opposite reason for. But like everyone is like the first thing I wrote on my things is like every guy on this show now is a like sorry, but like everyone is just like being very like sensey, you know, and like my business, my whole life is business. Like there's definitely some things
Except
that could
the
get
two
like
gay dudes.
super annoying. No, they are
all
like,
man.
Yeah.
They now all seem to be contributing to whatever this just like, yeah. You know what we forgot to talk about last week? Craig called out Austen for being on Xanax. Which remember when we were like, I can't believe that
Adderall.
they're all, no, because Austin's not. Craig's on Adderall. And we got pissy about them bringing up him being on Adderall because it just doesn't seem like something that they...
Like unnecessary.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. But then Craig gave that last week.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he
But
was
didn't-
about the pot. He's like,
Oh,
he can't
was
ever even make it
Craig-
over. And when he does, he's all
That's
zannied
right.
out.
That's right. I forgot.
Was
Yeah.
Craig prescribed Adderall, or was he just like, did he just enjoy Adderall?
No, he was prescribed it. He always makes a point to say that so that you know, like it was prescribed or
but
whatever.
he also abused it.
Maybe a little both.
He would be like, oh, I would be up for 3 days, 4 days on Adderall, and then I would sleep for 2 days. Listen, Linda, are you approving this hair?
Oh, wait, something happened.
What happened? I can't see it.
Oh, you got it.
What was it?
Just for a second. Good eyes, Mike.
Thank
it was
you.
like this just for a second.
How
Like,
long was that going
no,
on
literally
for?
just for a second.
Oh, okay.
Tough to say.
I think my one thing though, you know how she
That was the
always
best
says
part.
you have new hair. I think I do have some new hair now because like there is some that are so short up on top here that I'm like. I have been taking this like hair growth stuff for like several months now,
There you
so
go.
maybe it's finally kicking in. But you don't think about the awkward phase of new hair. Anyway,
Well,
Oh, sorry, I was just looking at my notes.
thank you for that. I've been waiting all night for you to apologize for looking at your notes.
Sorry, I'd like to issue a formal apology.
Mine like sit up here like my notes stay on the ready. I can't remember anything.
I like to play like it's all up here. Craig's, this has to be scripted, to Mike's point of everything on this season is scripted, or most of it, 98%. The way Craig just goes in, a bull in a china shop at this barbecue and says to Austen, I mean, clearly we don't have chemistry anymore. We used to, so should we just get lawyers involved in this to dissolve the partnership? I mean, he had the subtlety of...
yeah, it was even less subtle than that.
Yeah.
It was, we don't have chemistry on the show anymore because we're not friends. And when we were friends, that show was great, but we're not friends anymore, so we don't have any chemistry. So how much would it cost for me to buy you out? Like, it wasn't even...
I literally think he said, like, should we get lawyers involved or something to dissolve the contract? Like, he said something.
I think he just said how much money, what would it take for me to buy out puppies and beer or whatever the hell
Pillows
they're
and beer.
drinking. Like, it was just like, boosh, here. We're not friends. We don't have any chemistry.
But it was
Give me a number.
so harsh and
Right.
straight no chaser.
Okay.
Because did a producer just tell him you got to sit down on a
No,
lounge
that's
chair and
why
tell
I
him?
think I think these two might be real. Like, I think there might be something with these two. And then, like I said, I got caught up in a little bit of like Team Anti-Craig crew of tweeters.
Just know
Or
that those
Reddit
could
people?
be paid campaigns for these
Page
things.
Really?
campaigns.
Paid campaigns. Oh, but for every like now, ever
But
since
it
the
wa- I mean,
Justin
whatever,
Baldoni
paid
and
or
Blake
not,
Lively
like-
thing, like I'm just so much more aware of it now that like it's so much more common than you think, and it's not necessarily always to take someone down. But there are, like, if you are buying a social media package from someone, like that could include that you're going to get a bunch of positive comments on like all relevant TikTok accounts that are like have big followings, and they'll all go in there. And if there's 50 of them, then you're seeing 50 comments. And then you can also delete the ones that aren't great if it's on your own account and whatever. So I take that stuff a lot. Like, it just is so much more obvious to me now that those things are common. Listen, I'm not saying that people aren't anti-Craig. I'm sure they are. But, like, especially with everything we've seen on this show where it looks like they're kind of just, everyone's kind of ganged up on him. And, like, we talked about how maybe even the show's kind of over him. Maybe he's just not as game as he was to do things as he once was. Maybe
Well, he's going to
Whitney's
be
just a
game this
jerk off,
season.
you know?
Now that he's single and ready to
Yeah.
ming. It's very rare that Mike and I agree with one another. And I was like, oh, I could actually see the scripting of maybe the argument between Craig and Austen and them, Craig coming in saying we need to dissolve our partnership and we have no chemistry anymore because we're not actually friends anymore. And Mark was like, I actually think that could have been real, but I thought that was the staged part.
Yeah, it seems staged because it's just so dramatic. And then also
so out of left field to bring it up at the party in such an aggressive manner.
Yeah, everyone just sort of seems to be showing like their just like childish side. Like everyone is just sort of going for it and not worrying about like how any of this comes off. When we talk about Shep, like we all know that she's going to break up with him. Well, now we know that Paige is going to break up with Craig. So it is like really hard to watch like someone like Craig who is just like all heart. Like, yes, he's made some stupid decisions. Yes, he's made his bed and
But he's still the guy that jumps in the pool first and doesn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of what I love about him.
Yeah. And it is hard because I feel like he's chasing his friends away, which, listen, these friends aren't really worth much. I guess if these are your friends, who needs enemies? But it is sad to think about like that Craig just thinks that everything's on track and that he's got the confidence to say like, I don't need this shit anymore. And to know that like he's going to need some shit soon enough. From really anyone in his network. And it's also making me look at everything that Paige is doing and saying and how she's advising him. Like she's the one that said the word dissolve. Like you need to dissolve this and start from scratch and just do this on your own and whatever. Like it just makes me wonder, like, when did you really know that you were not going to be there for him? Because like you're advising him in ways that like if you knew you weren't going to be around or like weren't sure, you might be like, babe, you guys should talk. You guys been friends for a really long time. And like, maybe it's not going to work out, but like, like I would just.
Okay, hold on. Hear me out. This is a real deep cut stretch of a thought.
I love those. Those are my favorites.
Oh yeah, this is like a real conspiracy theory. I don't know if you've ever like been with someone or even worked with someone or whatever. You do actually love this person, but they're starting to do things that are annoying you when really like they only annoyed you once every 8 months. And now it's like, no, you're like annoying me every week. As I'm listening to Paige give him business advice, because that's what it was, she seems like a more astute business person to me than Craig is, or maybe more of a natural business person than he is, right?
Yeah.
And maybe his aw shucks goofy self that she did fall in love with is now annoying her a little bit in these ways of business because she wants a man, it's an adult human person that is going to realize, oh, I don't need to be on this goofy podcast about beers and pillows and, it has the depth of a paddling pool.
Yeah.
So that could have been her kick in the pants to kind of help usher him into this place of, no, it's a crappy, juvenile podcast. You could do so much better if you didn't have this frat bro dragging you into more frat brodom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm wondering if she was throwing that out there for him to be like, you know what, you're right. And I'm going to make a move and maybe I can gear it more towards the pillow company. And now we're getting into landscaping and gardening stuff. I don't know. That's a real conspiracy theory, but I'm wondering if she did, because I was thinking the same thing when she gave him that advice. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's intense advice.
Yeah.
Are you putting it out there to see, are you going to actually do something with this? Or are you just going to be like a guy that keeps tripping into more and more good fortune, as Mike likes to think?
Yeah.
Because Mike thinks Craig kind of just has like a really good business partner and he's kind of not lucked out, but your take is... I don't think he's lucked out.
I think he has an idea. I just don't think that he would have done anything with it by himself. Someone came along... as on camera, it was an episode where the dude was like, so what are you doing with this? And Craig was like, and the guy was like, yeah, I got you, bro. Like you could see the gears moving in the dude's head. And I'm not like, great, fucking good job, guy. You created a gigantor company. But like if that guy never shows up and no one else shows up, Craig is not starting sewing down south and getting it to where it is on his own. It's not happening. So yeah, he's very fortunate, but he also has a good idea and he's creative and and has this vision. I think all of those things are true.
Yeah.
A lot of us have a vision and it doesn't work out, because we're just not willing to do the things that it takes to do what it takes. Craig wasn't either. So he got a guy. He found a guy, or the guy found him. I think the guy found him. I think they're buddies, but like that guy was a MBA. That guy was a business person.
Okay, so then that validates my conspiracy theory that maybe she was throwing it out there to be like, okay, do something. Don't keep doing this podcast that's not really going to go anywhere.
He's probably asking her all the time, Chicken, what do you think I should do? What would you do if probably calling all the time, hey, so I just thought of something. And she's probably just like, I don't know, do it or don't, whatever. Like, there's a part of me that thinks that she's done being his
coach,
Mr. Miyagi or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's just maybe is losing just her boner for him, because he's just he's probably he seems to be he's really found his safe space with her. And sometimes you're just I feel like that was on Sex and the City when Big finally opens up, and does he start crying in front of Carrie, and she's like, whoa, bro. Was that on Sex and the City, or was that something else?
The episode you're thinking of is when she hasn't had sex in forever, and she gets a book reading in San Francisco, and Big lives in Napa, and she convinces Samantha to go on a train ride across the country. She's like, because I need to get laid. I need to feel the weight of a man on top of me. And it's the worst train ride ever. Everything's like a bologna sandwich and potato chips.
Yeah.
And they finally get there, and she's thinking it's all going to be worth it. And Big comes to the reading, and she's reading these passages out loud of how much he hurt her and how much he broke her heart.
Yeah,
and before
yeah.
they can sleep together, he's like, but hold on page 246, is this true? Did you really go home and cry after I did this? She's like, who cares? I'm over it. Can we please have sex? And he's like, not until I get these answers.
Yeah. So that's what it feels like. She is just bro, just can you start figuring things out for yourself? And he has just gotten a little too comfortable in this whole thing. And then also is a little too comfortable. So he feels like he can tell his friends to F off, and I'm just going to buy you out of your thing and we can move on. It's you want to buy me out of pillows and beer? I'm the beer. You're the pillows.
So you should have a podcast called Pillows.
Yeah. Maybe just start a new podcast. Maybe you don't need to buy him out of anything.
No,
just quit this one and
stop
you've
doing
evolved
it
out of this and don't need a Pillows and Beer podcast anymore. I think Austen calling Craig meeting up with JT a gut punch was laughable. It was a gut punch. But
that's why I didn't get why everyone was so up in arms about it. Maybe he was meeting because he accused JT of calling Miss Miss Patricia, the B word.
Yeah.
A B, as JT calls it. They can't find the footage. He never said it. This is so, again, it's such a nothing burger, but it is to JT because he's wrapped up in all of this silliness. And just talk to him before you get all hot and bothered about it.
Oh my God. When he sits down with JT and they have that discussion, in JT's interview, he's like, there wasn't just fumes coming out of the coffee, which by the way was a cold brew. Also that you showed up for 15 minutes early so you could get Craig's for him along with his little banana, because Craig's blood sugars was maybe going to get low. You're so mad and you're really going to sock it to this guy? And no, the whole thing
Here's
was
your
just
banana.
the whole thing was but what if you didn't see those words come out of my lips? Craig's I heard them. I still think that there's a chance that he said this and either the show's just being saucy about it and they'll bust it out at the reunion, or it was just at a different place, because then he does say something no, I know that you called her a bitch at the the sentence is almost leads you to believe that it could have happened somewhere else at the the dog and pony show. I don't know, whatever the
birthday party,
polo match or whatever it was. Other things at the party. I love that Taylor can't just simply take 5 steps to greet the hostess without a step-in boyfriend. When they're at the table at Taylor's house earlier talking about Sally, and she's like, I just don't trust her with her fluttering eyelashes that go up and down. You know how eyes work, right?
Yeah.
Like
this whole episode made everyone seem so unlikable, and they're not all like a cast of bad characters, but you are at someone else's house. Just go say hi.
Yeah, go say hi.
You don't need a boyfriend to say hello.
Yeah.
Do you know how many years of my life I've been single? Yeah. Do you know if I never said hello to someone because I didn't have a boyfriend there?
Yeah.
You're 30 years old. Who cares? Get over it.
Yeah.
Or get off the show if it's that bothersome.
Or like, did she just invite me for a something innuendo? Like, did she have a hidden innuendo instead of just saying agenda? Like,
she doesn't know.
Hey, she invited you because you're on the show. You guys know you're on a show,
it's a
right?
cast party.
Yeah.
No, somebody said online, she invited you to a work party. That's all it was a work party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
Mike broke his mic. Mike broke his mic.
When Taylor's like in her interview, like after Sally tells her that a bunch of people in the group have said like not to trust her, and then it hits right to Taylor's interview, and she's just like, goes, like what? What do you mean, like what? Do you not watch the show? Like you've come for everyone. You
hooked up with your best friend's ex-boyfriend.
It's like
there's a reason people might have trust issues, and that's okay. You can rebuild trust, but to just have complete amnesia, like it's never happened.
Yeah, the amnesia is a real problem.
Well, because she has a boyfriend now. She doesn't need to remember anything but Gaston's shoe size, pant size, and shirt size.
Yeah, Sally should make a power play for the gays.
Oh yeah,
get something on the books with them because they're dying to get out of this trio,
out of Taylorville.
Yeah. And does Venita not swim?
No, she does. She's like, I may have had one too many drinks when I jumped in there, and I guess when she jumped in and she came up, she inhaled a bunch of water, so she was choking on the water.
I don't think
I see how
Venita
that could
can
happen.
Swim. I don't think she can. Like that's a regular backyard pool.
No. She jumped in, and when she came up, have you never like inhaled pool water?
Not to where I could not just get myself to the side of the pool.
Yeah, but were you sober? I feel like she said she was. No, she said she was like, I may have had way too much to drink.
Yeah, I don't think Venita can swim.
How do you grow up in a coastal town like Charleston and not know how to swim?
I don't know, but like if you can't get yourself out of the middle of a pool to the side of it, I don't care how much water you drink, just flap your legs a couple times. You're there. It's literally 2 feet away. Like, you don't do that again.
I don't think she'll ever do that again.
Craig ruined his suede shoes, and then he had to put on that stupid Hawaiian outfit.
So cute though that he jumped in, no questions asked. That's why I like Craig the best out of all these ding dongs.
I know. Oh, I also love that when that Rod plays dumb, when Craig says he just had to explain himself to Austen. Like when he gets there and he's like, oh, I just had to explain myself to Austen, and Rod's like, why? Why would you have to explain yourself to him? Like you weren't the one that fucking called and tattled on him, Rod.
Yeah, but also that's why Rod's great. More Rod, more Tyler.
Yeah.
Less Taylor, less Venita, and less what's her name. Why do they even have what's her girl that owns Republic?
LEVA.
Why is she even Molly, LEVA, Venita? They are a boat going nowhere. All of them. They have no storylines. Same with Whitney. Whitney has no storylines, but he's an executive producer, so obviously he's going to insert himself wherever he wants to. But these people should not. Whitney shouldn't be on it. Venita shouldn't be on it. LEVA shouldn't be on it. Taylor shouldn't be on it. Molly. We needed a cast overhauling.
I know, they totally do. I wonder if, like, she's having a housewarming party, so she might invite whoever. And Sally was on hospitality or whatever.
That's fine, but it's irrelevant to my point.
No, I know. Like, I'm with you. I'm like, totally with you. I was just trying to think of like the specific person who was having a party. Like she might just be trying to fill up her backyard full of people and is going to tell her old boss to come by or whatever.
And that makes sense. But you look at that random scene between LEVA and JT where she's sick or has allergies, and JT's like, oh, did you take antibiotics? Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? This is so bottom of the barrel. The Bachelor can't start soon enough.
I know.
Let the pros show us how it's done.
I know. LEVA has been a lot easier. She still is annoying, don't get me wrong. But she's been a lot easier to watch on Southern Hospitality because she's got a purpose.
She has something to do.
Yeah, I mean, she's there cracking the whip when people get in trouble. She has her sidebars. She decorated her office very lovely. I was a big fan of her new decor. And also, I know you're an S1E1 person, but I really think you could just go straight to season 2 and you wouldn't miss a beat. Like, can you think of anything everything happens in season 2?
Well, sometimes I like something on in the background if I'm cleaning my house.
Okay,
or
do
doing,
that
so
then.
Yeah.
But don't stop on it just because the first 6 episodes are just like, oh my, it's not good. Okay. Is there anything else?
Like and subscribe. Right, Mike?
Like and subscribe and keep the comments coming.
Oh my God, guys, I love the comments
We
so
enjoyed
much.
the comments a lot.
The girl who said she also loves the cold cores. I love you, girl. I see you.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
She's the one that likes our cussing, too. Cussing and the cold curves.
Our people.
We won't leave you behind.
Fuck yeah. That was my first on All Show. I earned that.
You really did.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karen, 652.
Really
Toodles.
Toodaloo.